Hi everyone and welcome to our channel. It's Guy here, and in today's video you're going to hear about what is a bear market, what is a bull market, what is Bitcoin halving, and why it might be a good thing that the miners of Bitcoin will actually get half of what they used to get for each block, and also why it might be actually the good thing that will make the price of Bitcoin to increase. So if you want to learn all of that, make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Please notice our disclaimer since I'm not a financial advisor, so this video is for informational and educational purposes only. The bear market. Why it's here? Why it's staying in here so much long? Why do I see different, geniuses that I saw on social media that used to say to invest in one asset, and just it's been through a few months and then they're saying that this was the worst decision ever. I hope that in this video it will bring you more clarity about what is the bear market, what is the psychology of the market cycle, and when the bull market hopefully will begin, what is actually a bear market and a bull market, in general, how you can actually use the different psychology of the market cycle to your own benefits and hopefully make some more money. So first of all, what is bear market? There is a very accurate definition that you will be able to see in an article in the US News. You can actually write just in Google things to know about bear market. This is the best definition that I found, that it's more simple than anywhere you can actually look. A bear market is an extended period of prolonged price declines in the stock market, and as you can see in here, also in the crypto market, and it's typically defined as a decline of at least 20%. As you can see under crypto, it's much more from the recent highs for the market indexes such as the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average of the Nasdaq Composite. When you are looking on Bitcoin, okay, you will be able to actually see that the Bitcoin, it's very similar to an index of the crypto market, exactly like you can see about the assets, the index of stock market, which called the Vanguard, which is actually of the whole stock market. You can see that Bitcoin, because it holds a massive part of liquidity of the market, it's actually very affecting on the prices of all crypto. And we'll get into this chart further in the video, but the main focus that I wanted to show you is there are multiple changes in here, okay, of the Bitcoin price, and it's actually growing and growing, and the rainbow price chart actually predicted very accurately so far the changes that will be in the Bitcoin price. I'm not saying that you should count only on this chart. It's a great thing to look at it, and also it's very positive. It's bring positivity and confidence on investing in crypto. So if you're watching this video, you'll probably love it. Why I'm actually explaining you about all of that. So in the bear market, there is a psychology that starts every time that the market is going down. There is the disbelief of the really will fail like the others, because there is a long time that people invested, and a lot of crypto influencers are just gone and you don't see them anymore, or stock market influencers, you don't see them, not on YouTube, not on Instagram anymore, because of different situations in their lives and also different situation in the market, and sometimes tips that they said doesn't work out so well. So the best tip that you can actually take from this video is to learn how to do your own research, and then also to learn about the psychology of the market cycle. In the beginning, there is a disbelief, and then there is the hope. Okay, there is a little bit recovery, and a lot of people actually can call it like a correction and stuff like that, but it's really changing from time to time by the percentage of changes in one end. But in the other hand, in most market cycles, it's going very similar to the headlines in here, and you will be able to actually, if you will go to different investing news and crypto.com and stuff like that, for crypto and for the stock market, you will be able to see that the headlines, even not the articles, but the headlines actually showing the feeling in the market. And also you can see on different communities on Twitter and stuff like that they are talking about, and you feel while you're reading their posts the vibe of the different headlines. So as you can see, after the hope, there is the optimism, which is actually Riley, that is real, okay? And then there is the belief. Usually the people, when they recognize this part, okay, and they're very, very advanced investors, they're actually investing in here, okay, and then they actually wait the correction, and then they're giving it to grow and grow, and a lot of people actually pulling it around here. But most people, I'm talking about at least 90% of people, you can actually see it on the market, don't pull their assets while they're in here. So there is a very, very important thing that most beginners don't do when they start to invest, and it's to take profits while you invest, and especially while you trade, because you can never know what will be tomorrow, but you can actually assume only by the past. So it's very important to take profits during your progress. Actually, that way you will emotionally feel a little bit better. There's also, after the optimism, there is the belief. There is the time to get fully invested, and then there will be the thrill. And the thrill, actually, you will see that in those times, a lot of influencers actually going out and talking about their different success. Also, they're talking about their journey and how they became so advanced. And you can actually go to the dates in here, and you will be able to see exactly what I'm talking about the different posts and the different YouTube videos, that you see that people actually are very exciting and feel like they're geniuses, which is actually the euphoria, which is actually the last part before the market declines. It's when people are starting to give tips to others and stuff like that, and that, yeah, you can invest, and yeah, Bitcoin is now 60K, you have to invest it, and then it just declined. So before I will continue, the idea of showing you this progress is to help you to understand that we cannot, as an individual, influence that much on the market. A great way that worked to a lot of people is actually to look on the big whales and to look about the big companies and actually track about their investments. And when they're doing so, and also going through the news and actually doing a fundamental diagnose and actually fundamental research, so they can see also the news, they also read their financial reports, and also they go through the white papers of companies, of crypto companies and NFTs and stuff like that, and they actually see the different progress. Then you can actually see when there is a little bit of more belief in here, and this is usually the part then that most investors will decide to get in. Okay, when you see that there's an incredible, say, Warren Buffett, that when everyone is hungry on the market and everybody's buying, be cautious. But when everyone is pulling and selling, this might be the right time to buy. So it's very important that when you're investing in a project, it's not just to look on the price of it, but more to look on the value of the company and also the situation of it. Because there is companies that looks great, but when you will see about how deep in debt they are, so you can see that maybe it won't be the best financial decision to invest. Now, then you have the complexity, that is actually that you need to cool off for the next rally. And then there is the anxiety of actually that you call your broker, if you have a broker, or you do it on your computer, and then you see that your investment has declined. And as you can see in here, that there is a big difference from here to here, for example, and this is actually the value of the market. When there is more the denial, okay, the part when people are saying, no, I'm not pulling anything, or I'm not doing anything to my assets, I'm just leaving it there. So in one hand, you can say, like, until you sell, you never lose. But in the other hand, there are a lot of assets that just get wiped out. So if you're not investing in indexes and stuff like that, you might be cautious, because sometimes it's a smart step to sell in order to, I'll call it, to get a little bit of losses, but also in a lot of countries to actually get tax benefits, because you can actually cut your losses and your profits, and that way to sometimes pay less taxes. And also because the idea that you can actually, besides just leaving your portfolio and not doing anything, sometimes if you're not looking on the short term, but you're looking on the long term, sometimes a lot of people actually decide to leverage their portfolio. And there are a lot of companies also in crypto and also in the stock market that even if your portfolio is decreasing in value, if they see it as a good portfolio, so they might give you a loan or the possibility to leverage in multiple assets investing. Now, you need to be cautious about it. And of course that you need to do it very after a lot of thinking and a lot of research. It's also another way that some people use in order to maximize their profits, or at least to minimize their losses, because they're actually leveraging their portfolio and actually using to get a loan to invest in something else that they have more confident that it will help them. Now, also you have the panic. Now, the panic is that shit. Everyone is selling. I need to get out. But sometimes it's not the smartest step to do, because market is a market. It's a cycle, and things are just growing and changing for every time. And as long as the economy will exist, probably the market will exist as well. So of course that it's not smart to invest the money that you're not willing to lose. But if you have money that you're planning to use and to help it to grow long term, as you can see, also people invested in Bitcoin from 2013, you can see that the price actually increased rapidly. So even though there was multiple changes, okay, and the price increased massively in tens of percents, and as you can see over the years of hundreds of percents, in the long term, in the Bitcoin rainbow coin, okay, and by the way, those are the changes of the price for real, okay, of what been on the Bitcoin price, is actually the changes of the market, okay. Now, it's not the worth of the market was like that, of the crypto market, but in most cases that Bitcoin price decreased in at least 10%, you could see that there was a decrease of other crypto assets that are big as well, as Ethereum, Litecoin, and much more. So it's pretty accurate that when you're going through the Bitcoin price, and also, by the way, you look in the stock market as well, because there are a lot of investors in the stock market that holds a lot of their funds also in crypto and in Bitcoin. In general, it can actually affect each other. So let's say the S&P 500 will decrease massively, and there are companies in the S&P 500 that are invested in Bitcoin as well. So it might actually affect also the price of Bitcoin, because think about it, sometimes companies are just pulling some of the assets they are investing, even though it's losing for the long term. Sometimes they have payments that they have to pay right now, whether it's the time to pay to investors or to liquidity providers or stuff like that. We're currently around here, okay? And the prediction is that we're going to be in here in the next few years. And as you can see, in 2024, when there will be the next Bitcoin halving, and we'll talk about what is it exactly in a second, there will be predicted a very high increase of the market and also of the price of Bitcoin himself. And the reason is because, as you can see on Investopedia, you can actually see an article on Bitcoin halving. The idea of Bitcoin halving, it's actually, the process is very simple. A Bitcoin halving is an event that actually occurred when the reward for mining Bitcoin transaction is cut in half. Okay, now a lot of people will say, okay, so why people will want to mine Bitcoin, if they will actually get less Bitcoin as a reward? So the reason that a lot of people that are investing in mining Bitcoin and will want to stay when the event also cuts in half and Bitcoin inflation is because, as you can see in the previous halving that have correlated with intense boom and bust cycles, they actually ended with higher prices than the prior to the event. And what actually happened is that actually Bitcoin became more valuable because it's harder to actually get one in one hand, but in the other hand, because of the correction and the idea that it's more secure and it taking more time, actually more energy to secure each transaction, so it actually making the market and people in general to more trust in the process of using Bitcoin to transact money. And now, when the Bitcoin halving will happen, so as you can see on Google and a lot of places, they are talking that it's going to be on 2024 of May, but it's not 100% will happen like that. And the main reason is because when you actually look on the Bitcoin chart, you can see that it's pretty similar, but it's not precise, the different changes in the price. Now, of course, that you need to consider that now because of COVID and a lot of stuff that happened in the world, it might be a lot of changes that couldn't be predicted when Bitcoin rainbow price chart actually created, but still, as you can see, that it's staying consistent in the rainbow price chart. So it's a great index to also look at it and to actually consider when you're investing. And as you can see that the last halving on May 2020, now as you can see that in May 2020, there was a small correction in here, but very, very rapidly, there was a massive increase in the price, and it's increased a lot, and also got to a place of over $57,000 per Bitcoin. As you can see that the correction in here that was actually increased the value of Bitcoin, even though the miners, it seems like it's not profitable. It's less profitable to mine if you're looking at it and the current price of Bitcoin versus the dollar. But if you're looking at it on the long term, because each Bitcoin becomes more valuable and more people actually investing in Bitcoin, so actually it becomes more valuable and more known as an assets to storage and actually keep your value. Because there are multiple changes also in a lot of currencies, so in fiat currencies, so a lot of people actually looking to the direction of crypto. You cannot blame them, because as you can see on crypto, there are a lot of options that on fiat money you don't have. And in a lot of places also in crypto, you have decentralized ways, which is incredible. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk with you, it's about a bull market. Now, what is a bull market actually? So a bull market is exactly the opposite of a bear market. So a bull market actually occurs when the securities are on the rise, while the bear market occurs when securities falls for a sustained period of time. Now, it's important to understand the differences between a bull and a bear market and how they impact the investment dilutions. Now, why it's important to actually know what is the difference? Because a lot of people, when they're looking on the different changes on the price, so they're thinking like, oh, all right, so there was in here, there's a beginning of a bull market because the price is increasing pretty rapidly, but it's increasing, and they're been through a few days. Usually you don't recognize, and you can decide in very high percent, not even like in 80%, you cannot decide just after a few days that you see that the price increasing, that we're starting a bull market. And the main reason is because when you actually look on the market cycle, in most cases is just changing until we get to a place that we're going through the phase that there is optimism and then there is increase of belief. Now, I'm not saying to listen to everything that you hear on social media or YouTube or any search engine, but it's very important to stay notified and to look. One of the best ways to stay notified is actually to follow our channel, and that way you will be able to know what is going on in the market. But it's very important that when you actually see the different patterns that is going more and more every single day, and you can see in a lot of cases on the headlines and on the different articles and different posts on social media and in a lot of places, that it's very, very clear that they are talking in here, okay, and they're actually showing a thrill or belief or panic or anger. So you will see where we are in the cycle, and hopefully you will make better decisions while you're investing and hopefully make some income from it. So for summary, if you want to invest properly and to make the best decisions possible, and to develop the best strategy, one of the ways that will help you to develop your strategy is actually to look on the psychology of the market cycle. And that way you will be able to stay notified about what is going on and to be more alert and to understand if we're still on the bear market or we're going towards bull market. Don't be so stressed about the halving event that is predicted to be in 2024, because as we can see on the last halvings, and you can see also not just the last one, but you can see also on other halvings events that it was just incredible for the price, because it actually, in a lot of places, for people that don't understand in crypto, they see it as a more safety net that is putting on each transaction that they're making, and that way a lot of people decide to invest more money. So thanks again for watching this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to give us a like, and make sure to add any comments with questions that I may have not covered, and subscribe to our channel so you're going to get other great content like this one that will help you with the cryptocurrency journey. That's all for now. Thanks for being here.